What's up, guys? Rick here with my top 5 fades for this week's Players Championship. These are golfers that I'm a little bit worried about, might have zero exposure to, or just less than what I deem the rest of the industry will have. It's a little nerve-wracking in a stacked field like this to try to pick out some guys to fade, but here we are, hopefully. And my goals for this are to provide a different angle, a different thought process, maybe open up a discussion around these players and why they might not be for me. Also, there are 2 live chats on Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. That's our regular Players Championship live chat for all your questions and answers. And then 8 p.m. Eastern time, same place, Rick Run Good YouTube channel for the Jock Market Power Hour. Joe Idonia and myself playing stock market DFS in the Jock Market. It's a ton of fun. It's going to be a huge week, Players Championship. It's going to be phenomenal. Let's jump in to the fades for this week. We'll work our way up the board as we tend to do, and I'm going to start with Andrew Putnam, who admittedly is in a stretch of really good golf right now. He finished 7th at Phoenix, he finished 5th in Puerto Rico, and he finished 4th at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. And I guess my concern with Putnam, and he's a short game specialist, he's one of the better putters on the PGA Tour, but he has really ramped up that hot putter over the course of the past couple of weeks. He gained over 6 strokes in that category at the API. We don't know what he did at the Puerto Rico Open because there's no shot link data there. But now in 3 of his last 4 measured events, he has gained over 4 strokes putting. That is, over a stroke per round, obviously. That would make him, at this rate, by far the best putter in the world. It's not even close. Those are rates that are usually unsustainable. I'm going to expect him to come back down to earth just a little bit. He's still going to be a positive putter, but come back down to earth and have to rely on the rest of his game, which, quite frankly, not all that great. Loses about a half a shot off the tee every single round. He's about a tour average player on approach, and he just relies on that short game, which is really boosting his results at the moment. So I'm not going to fall for Andrew Putnam down in this range. I'll probably throw a dart with a couple of other guys. He's been on a great run, but I expect that to come back down to earth here shortly. Next up is Siwoo Kim, and quite honestly, when you get to, first of all, I think he was a fade last week. He withdrew from the Arnold Palmer after shooting, 79 in the opening round, something like that. This is a great example of you paying for his past champion status because, okay, Siwoo won a couple of starts ago. He won the American Express. Since then, he's gone missed cut, T50, missed cut, withdrawal. He has been one of the worst players on the PGA Tour since that victory. And I'm not even really exaggerating. If you go and you look up the last, it's like 10 or 11 rounds for him. If you go up and look at every single player in this field over their last 10 rounds, there's only 13 guys who have been worse than Siwoo Kim. So, this is just a really tough place to think that he's just going to be able to flip the switch and not play the way he has over his last 5 starts. And I do not want to pay for this past champion stats. Quite frankly, Siwoo is hard enough to predict. You don't have to pay the premium for him. You can get him any week of the year, and you're just as likely to find a win as this week, in my opinion. It's just, he's so volatile and so hard to predict that I'm not going to do it on a week where others might feel that he's worth a shot. Next up is Matt Kuchar, who has no doubt been awesome at the Players Championship. He won this event in 2012. He had a 3rd place finish in 2016. He's got basically back-to-back top 25 finishes in his last 2 starts. But the version of Matt Kuchar we're getting now is so completely different from the version that we had in those years. And I know that there's growing optimism for Matt Kuchar because he gained strokes on approach in his last start. And that is a pretty low bar to clear at this point for Matt Kuchar. He gained a stroke and a half on approach at the workday over 4 rounds, while losing strokes in each of his previous 4 starts. So there is certainly not a huge sign of resurgence and great play incoming here for Matt Kuchar. that is going to want to make me bet him or roster him in any considerable fashion. He has been a consistent loser off the tee for his last dozen events. He's been a consistent loser on approach in his last dozen events. Even the putter has been hairy at times. There's just not much going in the direction of Matt Kuchar right now outside of the fact that he has won this tournament in the past and posted a couple of other good finishes. So again, this is a millionaire maker week. It's a week where you're going to get a lot of casuals in. It's a week where people are going to say, oh, I remember he won this event so X number of years ago. I know that name. Let me plug him in. Whatever Matt Kuchar's ownership is this week, it is probably a few percentage points too high, and I'm not going to be contributing to it. Paul Casey is next, and I was pretty high on Paul Casey last week, and that was fine. It turned out okay. He's a great ball striker. There's absolutely no doubt about that. But the jarring thing about Casey at TPC Sawgrass are his results around here. I mean, he has been, this place has been his kryptonite. He's played 12 times. He's missed the cut in 6 of them. He's withdrawn another 2 times. And here's maybe the most concerning part about this. His best finish was a T10. That was in 2004. 17 years ago. So he played it another 11 times and never bested that top 10. It's weird. If these results were kind of flipped and he was trending in the right direction and he went from 38th to 22nd and his latest finish was 10th, you could say, okay, maybe he's figuring something out here. He's getting more comfortable on these greens, whatever it is. This is the opposite of that. And it's head scratching. It's concerning. And with so many other great guys in this range and in this field, I just don't think we have to go to Paul Casey this week. So I'm going to stay away, and he's going to have to break this unbelievably poor stretch of golf at TPC Sawgrass to kind of make me wish I didn't fade him. And then finally, Hideki Matsuyama. And this is such a rare thing because of what happened with this event being canceled after 1 round last year. But it's almost like Hideki gets credit for being our defending champion, which is bonkers because he was the first round leader and he played well. But let's look at that round. That round is in my database. You can go check it out. He gained 4.28 strokes putting. Okay, 4.28. That would be his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, basically his 9th best putting week ever in 1 round. Do we think that that's sustainable? Have we watched Hideki in the last year and said anything that like, oh, he's got this in him? I mean, that's probably his best putting round ever if it's one of his top 10 putting weeks ever with just 1 round. You look at what he's done, and there have been better signs for Hideki. Don't get me wrong. The approach game has been better at the API. It has been better at the workday, but it has still been hit or miss dating back to what is essentially the Memorial. So talking about July of 2020, Hideki has not even looked like himself, and the putter has still been very cold. So I continue to worry about this. I just think that he's garnering much more steam than he should be, almost as being crowned the de facto 2020 champion when he had one of the best putting rounds of his entire life. So for all of those reasons, I'm out on Hideki. There you go. My top 5 fades for this week's Players Championship. Let me know who I'm right on, who I'm wrong on, and you can tweet me. It's at RickRunGood or leave a comment below. Best of luck this week, and I'll talk to you guys soon.